Hello everyone, welcome to Primary 5 English session for the first term 2025-2026. I'd like to welcome you all to Unit 1, Food, Nature and Culture. In order to begin our session, I am going to let you know more about the learning outcomes. So by the end of lesson 1, students will be able to ask and answer questions about the Nile River and the hot desert. Use vocabulary related to life in the Nile River and the hot desert. Identify the adverbs of frequency and their uses. Now, let's start. Here is a picture. What can you see in the picture? Yes, it's lesson 1, Life Along the Nile. So, this is a picture of the Nile River. Look, this is the Nile River. The Nile River runs across Egypt, and it's the longest river in the world. Now, let's think about what kinds of animals and plants live in the Nile River. Can you guess? Yes, we have some plants and animals that live in the Nile Desert, and here is some of these plants and animals. Please look at the photos, read the words, and listen to these words.
Water weeds, insects, the Nile River, hunt, crocodile.
These are the main words in Unit 1. Now, let's see what does each word mean. For the first word or the first picture, we can see water weeds. Water weeds. Water weeds is a noun, and when we say water weeds, we are talking about plants that grow partly or wholly in water. They can be completely inside the river Nile, or a part of it can appear on the surface of the Nile. This means also that they can be rooted inside the Nile River or floating on the surface of the Nile River. The second word is a crocodile. A crocodile. A crocodile also is an animal, is a noun. It refers to a sea animal. It's a large one. It has long jaws, long tail, short legs, and a textured skin. It's one of the most dangerous animals in the sea, as you can see here in this picture. The third one, or the third picture, is insects. Insects. And insects is a noun. Here it's a plural. The singular is insect and insect. So insects are small animals that has 6 legs and 1 or 2 pairs of wings. The last word is hunt. Hunt. Hunt is a verb, means that to chase and catch. And here we can see the crocodile hunting this small animal. So these are the main words in Unit 1. They are related to plants and animals that live in the Nile River. Now let's read a text. Now you are going to read this text and complete it. How are you going to complete it? You are going to use these list of words. Let's see the words. The words are crocodiles, Nile, hunt, insects, water weeds. These are the words you are going to use to complete this text. What is this text about? The text tells us that there are many rivers around the world. There is one of the longest rivers in the world. It's home to many different animals, are strong and dangerous. So what's strong and dangerous in the Nile River? They large animals in or near the water. Small fish in the river eat what? Birds eat what? Small fish and the plants near the river. I think now you can guess the answer, and let's see if your guessing were correct. So here is the text. The text is that there are many animal rivers around the world. The Nile or the Nile River is one of the longest rivers in the world. It's home to many different animals. Crocodiles, which is a dangerous animal, are strong and dangerous. They hunt large animals in or near the water. Small fish in the river eat water weeds. Birds eat insects. Also, small fish and plants near the river. This is the correct completed text. Now let's move to something else. Let's read and listen to two students, a boy and a girl, Ahmed and Layla. What are we going to listen to? We are going to listen to Ahmed and Layla talking about life in the River Nile. After we listen and read, we are going to answer some questions on this dialogue. Here, this is the text. Listen while you are reading.
Look at the small fish in the Nile River. They are so colorful.
Yes. Do you know that small fish eat plants in the water? These are called water weeds.
That's interesting. What about birds? What do they eat?
Birds eat small fish, insects, and even plants near the river.
Wow! What about big fish?
They eat smaller fish, insects, and tiny creatures in the water.
And crocodiles, what do they eat?
They eat fish, birds, and sometimes larger animals that come near the water.
Huge crocodiles are scary. Do any animals hunt them?
Not really. They are the kings of the Nile.
It's amazing how all animals in the river find food to survive.
Each animal plays an important role. That's why we must protect the river.
This was Ahmed and Layla talking about the River Nile, animals that live in the River Nile. What do they eat and how do they live, and what is the important role for each one? Now you have read and listened to the text, to the dialogue between Ahmed and Layla. Let's see what are the questions and what will be the answers. These are the questions. Question number 1, what do small fish look like? 2, what do crocodiles eat? 3, which animals eat both plants and insects in the river? And number 4, why do we need to protect the river Nile? These were the questions about Ahmed and Layla. Let's see what is the answer. For question number 1, what do small fish look like? Small fish were colorful. Colorful. Question number 2, what do crocodiles eat? Through the dialogue, we learned that crocodiles eat fish, birds, and large animals that come near the water. Question number 3 was, which animals eat both plants and insects in the river? And answer was big fish. Plants and insects are eaten by big fish. The last question, why do we need to protect the Nile River? We need to protect the Nile River because it is the source of life. Without it, we cannot be able to live in Egypt. Now, we have some other questions to discuss. These questions are, if you were a small fish, what would be the hardest thing of living in the Nile? Another question. So, if you were a small fish, it would be very hard or difficult for me to live with the rubbish and waste that people throw. As we know, people nowadays, or people now, throw rubbish like plastic, like paper, like waste in the Nile. So these fish or these things make it difficult for the small fish to live. They cannot breathe well, they cannot eat well. So this is the hardest thing for me if I were a fish to live in. Another point was, name 3 things that live in the Nile. Can you remember? Yes. We can find that plants live in the Nile, water weeds live in the Nile, sea animals live in the Nile, and the fish live in the Nile. Let's think about some other questions. What can you do to help keep the Nile clean and safe? We have said that, or we have learned that the Nile is full of rubbish and waste, and this makes it difficult for the small fish to live there. So, what can we do to help these small fish live in the Nile? To help them live in the Nile and to help keep the Nile clean and safe, we need to ask people or to instill people to stop throwing rubbish in the Nile. So when people stop throwing rubbish in the Nile, it will be safe and clean for us as humans and for other creatures. Also, we have some questions related to life in the Nile River to think about. These questions, number 1, what would happen if people harm the River Nile? We learned that people throw rubbish and waste in the Nile, and small fish find it difficult or hard to live there. If fish find it difficult to live there, what about us as humans? Something else? How would that affect animals and humans? Throwing rubbish and waste, is it useful or harmful? If we think about these questions, we can say that when people throw rubbish and waste in the River Nile, they harm it, and if they don't stop it, animals like small fish will lose their home. They won't find a safe place to live in. Also, people might not have clean water because we drink from the River Nile and we use the water from the River Nile to cook and drink, so it won't be safe and clean. Also, farmers could suffer. Why will farmers suffer? Farmers will suffer because they use water from the River Nile, which is not clean and safe, to water their plants. So these plants will not grow well. So farmers will suffer. Crops will not be good enough. Most importantly is that Egypt's history and beauty will be lost. Egypt is known by the River Nile. If we lose the River Nile and its beauty, Egypt will lose one of the most important things in it. Now, let's move to something else. Let's move to the desert. We know that we have learned about life in the Nile River, and now let's learn about food in the desert. Do you think there is food in the desert? Follow me and you will know. Can you name any animals that live in the desert? Do you know any animals that live in the desert? Can you guess one? Some? Can you name some? See, these are some of the animals that can live in the desert. We can find a lizard, which it looks like that. We can find camels live in the desert. We can find snakes in the desert. And we can find some dangerous animals like fox in the desert. Lizard, camel, snake, fox. These are some of the animals that live in the desert. Let's read and know about how do these animals live in the desert. We are going to read a small text about animals in the desert and how they live. So, animals in the desert is hot and dry, but many animals live there. Snakes often eat small animals like rats or lizards. Camels live in the desert too. They eat plants to stay strong. Lizards eat insects, which give them energy. Some animals hide under rocks to stay cool during the day. Others, like owls, come out at night when it is cooler. Each animal has an important role in the desert. They help nature stay in balance. So, as we learned about animals, some animals and plants that live in the desert, that live in the Nile, here we learned that there are some animals that live in the desert, although it's hot and dry. Some of these are snakes, which eat small animals like rats and desert. Others like camels, which can live without water for long times. They eat plants to stay strong. We also know that lizards and insects give camels energy. Also, some animals can live there by hiding under rocks to keep themselves safe during the day from the heat. Other animals don't appear in, like owls, don't come out at night, at day, but they come at night. And all of these animals are important because they help to keep the nature stay intact. Now we have some photos and words and sentences to match together. Here are the sentences. Sentence number 1. Snakes eat small animals. Like what? Number 2. Camels eat. Eat what? 3. Insects give lizards. Come out at night when it's cooler. What come out at night when it's cooler? Here are the photos or the pictures that we are going to match this sentence to. First one, picture number A, B, C, D, and E. We have 4 sentences and 5 pictures, so there is an extra one which we will not use. Can you guess the answer? Yes, this is the answer. Snakes eat animals like rats. Camels eat grass. Insects give lizards energy. Owl come out at night when it is cooler. These were animals that live in the desert and how they live there and keep nature in balance. Sure, we have some questions about the text that we are going to discuss together and see the answers. These are the 3 questions. How is the weather in the desert? Number 2, how can animals adapt to life in the desert? 3, how can humans adapt to life in the desert? We need to know about the weather, animals, and the humans, and how they live in the desert. Have you guessed the answer? Here is the answer. The weather in the desert is sure, hot and dry. Very good. Some animals can adapt to life in the desert when they eat small animals, when they eat plants, when they come out at night and hide under rocks, like an owl. Humans can look for water, dig wells, hunt animals, and build tents. This is how humans can adapt to life in the desert. See how animals and humans are different? Let's move to something else. We are going to learn about adverbs of frequency. When we say adverbs of frequency, we are talking about some words or adverbs that tell us how often something happens, how many times something is repeated. Do we repeat it every day, daily? We do it Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Or do we do it sometimes, for example, 6 times, 7 times? Or sometimes yes, sometimes no? Or we do them 1 time or 2 times? Or we don't do these things? These are adverbs of frequency. They tell us how something is repeated. For example, these can be words like always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. So, are these words the same? Do these words tell us that the action is repeated or is done in the same time or in the number of times it is like all the other one? Let's see how each one of these adverbs is different. Here are the words that we call adverbs of frequency. They are always, usually, often, sometimes, rarely, never. You can see that they are arranged in order. They look like the steps of the ladder. We use this ladder to start from not doing something to something that we do it every day. So at the first step of the ladder, we can see the word never. Never. When we say that we never do something, that means that it's 0%. It takes 0. It's never happens. For example, I never play tennis. That means I don't play tennis at all. No, I didn't play it a day. When I say that I rarely play tennis, we mean that I may do this 2 times or less, not repeated more. When we say sometimes, we say that the numbers I do this thing sometimes is the same that the numbers I don't do them. For example, I sometimes play tennis. That means that I play tennis 3 days a week, and the other days I don't play tennis. It's equal. The numbers I do is the same numbers I don't do. And now the ladder is, we are approaching the top of the ladder. When we talk about that we often do something, that we do it most of the days. When we usually talk about that we usually play tennis, or that we do it more than often, it's about 9 days or 5 days a week. And when we do say that I always play tennis, we say that I do this every day. So let's think about some activities which you always do, you usually do, you often do, you sometimes do, you rarely do, and things that you never do. For example, I always brush my teeth. I brush my teeth every day. I always wear my school uniform. I always sleep early at night. This means that we do this every day. When we talk about usually, you can say that I usually go to school by bus. That means maybe one day or two that I don't go by bus. I may walk, I may take a taxi. My father may take me in his car, and so on. When I say I often do this, like I often see my friends in the park, that means that 5 days a week or 5 times I see them. When I say I sometimes wear sunglasses, I sometimes I do this and I don't do this. I rarely use my father's mobile phone, that I may use this mobile phone 1 time or 2 times. But my mother never allows me or never lets me use her mobile phone. So I don't use it at all. Look at these examples. I always brush my teeth. She usually eats breakfast. We often play football. He sometimes forgets his homework. They rarely eat sweets. I never thrash. Let's think about each one. I always brush my teeth. I do this every day. All of us brush our teeth every day. This is repeated daily. My sister, or she usually eats her breakfast. It may be just one day a week that she doesn't, but most of the days she usually eats her breakfast. She never leaves home before without breakfast. But we often play football. We don't do it every day. We may do it 5 times a week or some, but he sometimes forgets his homework. Yes, maybe a day, yes, he forgets, maybe, and another day he remembers, and things go like that. They rarely eat sweets. They don't like sweets so much, so they may eat it once a week or twice a week. But we never throw rubbish in the street. We put them in their books. We don't do this at all. These are adverbs of frequency. Let's look and learn how do we use these words in the sentence. I always brush my teeth. I do this every day. She usually eats breakfast. We often play football. These were the examples we have just discussed. Now, let's look at the sentence and see how we order the sentence with adverbs of frequency and where does each word come. For example, if we have a sentence, the verb with verb to be, which is am, is, or are. When there is a verb to be in the sentence, we use adverbs of frequency after verb to be, not before verb to be. We say that she is always happy. She is sometimes late for school. She is never late for school. He is often ready, and so on. So with verb to be, the adverb of frequency comes after it, follows it. But if this is a verb, any verb in the present, not verb to be, the adverbs of frequency comes before the verb. We can say that I usually eat breakfast at 7. They sometimes play football. He never forgets his homework. He always plays football in the club. These are where the adverbs of frequency come after verb to be, before the verb. Let's look at these sentences and see if they are following the correct order or not following the correct order. That means if is verb to be is the adverbs of frequency in its place or it's not in the correct place. We have 3 sentences here. Sentence number 1, she always is happy. She always is happy. Is this true or false? Is the sentence correct or incorrect? Number 2, we find rarely animals in the desert. We find rarely animals in the desert. Is it correct or not? Is it true or false? Number 3, always camels store water in their butts. Always camels store water in their butts. Are these sentences correct or not correct? Look at the first example here. She always is happy. Where is the adverb of frequency? It's always. What is the verb? It's is. So here in the sentence, always before verb to be. This is correct. And number 2, where is the adverb of frequency? Rarely. What is the main verb? Find. Here, the adverb of frequency came after the word find. Is it correct? In number 3, we find always came at the beginning of the sentence. Is it correct? Did you know the answer? Yes. Let's see. Number 1, she is always happy. Sure. She is always happy. If we came back to the example, it was she always is happy. And the correct answer is she is always happy. Number 2, we find rarely animals in the desert. And this is not correct because rarely came before the verb. So the correct answer is we rarely find animals in the desert. Number 3, always camels is incorrect, but camels always store water in their butts. These are the correct sentences. Now, we came to the end of lesson 1 and 2. To wrap up, we talked about the Nile River, which runs across Egypt. It's the longest river in the world. We knew also that some plants and animals live in the Nile, like water weeds, like crocodiles, like small fish. Crocodiles eat animals like small fish, and they hunt each other animals. We also knew that some animals live in the desert, like camels, like lizards, like owls, and that every animal is very important and has something to do. We also knew that the river Nile is important. It's important for us to keep it clean and safe so people can drink clean water. Farmers can use water to water their plants. We also knew that we use adverbs of frequency like always, sometimes, usually, often, rarely, and never, and they have a certain place in the sentence, and the sentence should follow a certain order. This is this was our lesson today, Unit 5, Lesson 1 and 2. Good luck.